Welcome back to Nick in Detail. I'm Nick, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing the Warriors and Bulldogs game which took place in Sydney last night. In this video I'll give my thoughts on the game, what went wrong for the Warriors, and look ahead to who's next for the Warriors. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. The Warriors have suffered 3 straight defeats in Sydney to the Bulldogs. They've been beaten pretty comfortably 18-6, and that result very much blows a big opportunity to close the gap to the top of the table Panthers and more notably move back up to second on the ladder. Let's get my thoughts on this game. This was a really disappointing performance from the Warriors. You could tell just in that whole 18 minutes, they just really weren't in the game. The Bulldogs straight away putting on that pressure and really executing all the opportunities they took. They were a very hard team to break down. You can see the Warriors just really struggled with that. We never really saw the Warriors get going. Lots of errors, lots of silly decision making, and very much a result that was well deserved. The Bulldogs, meanwhile, they were faultless. You couldn't even criticize their performance. They straight away put out some great plays on the park, really great decisions, and as well just making the most of their opportunities they created. They made this game physical and they really took it to the Warriors. I said in my preview yesterday that this Bulldogs team is very much looking like they're on the up, and of course that result actually now up into 9th and very much closing in on that top 8 spot. But yes, for the Warriors, they very much just didn't play like we've seen the Warriors have played over the last few weeks. They just never really got into the game, just didn't really get their opportunities, didn't really make most of the opportunities they created, and just lots of errors that were very much not necessary and probably left a fair few points out there on the park last night. For the Bulldogs, a really well deserved win. They played outstanding and very much showing they're getting their players back and they're now starting to get their form back as well. And I said before, that's now 3 straight wins against the Warriors in Sydney, so I guess not a great feat for the Warriors there. Let's look at what went wrong for the Warriors. Well, for me, the main thing that stood out for me the most last night was their execution. They were woeful in their execution last night. Just lots of handling errors, lots of silly decision making, and just never really got there. They probably left, I'd say, about 8 points out there on the park last night. And we saw from the chances they created, they probably should have scored them as well because they were on pretty good opportunities as well. It all came down to that final pass that let them down. We did also see maybe a bit of slipperiness, a bit of Junus on the field as well. So we did see that more notably, I think in the second half, where Dylan Martinez-Lisniak was clearly through on the line. He slipped, I think very much showing just the conditions in Sydney were a little bit slippery. But yes, very much for the Warriors, the main thing that let them down was execution. Had they made most of their opportunities, they really could have made this game interesting, and maybe the discussion of winning this game could have been in conversation. But that conversation very much died in the first 10 minutes. We just never saw the Warriors even get into the game and very much make this game a contest and very much playing like a side that, realistically speaking, looking at the position on the table, probably shouldn't be there. But like I said before, you cannot very much discount the Bulldogs. This is a really good performance from them, a performance that they'll be very happy with as well, and particularly when they're looking to chase a top 8 spot come in about a few weeks' time. So what's next for the Warriors? Well, they're once again back on the road next weekend. They will head to the Gold Coast on Saturday to take on the Titans. Now, the Titans sitting second to bottom on the ladder, and very much like the Dragons, have not been performing well this season. But we saw against the Dragons last weekend, they very much do not tend to play fantastically, the Warriors, against these lower ranked sides. So do not discount the Titans. Of course, the Titans have actually been a little bit of a, I guess like the Bulldogs have been in Sydney, a bit of a bogey team. The Warriors haven't really played too great against the Titans over the last couple of years, and particularly in the Gold Coast as well. This could make things very interesting. You like to say, based on that performance, this game could go either way, particularly with another game on the road as well. We've not really seen the Warriors have that cohesion of home games over the last couple of months, but at the same time, you really need to build your road form, particularly if you want to be in that top 3, let alone being challenging for the minor premiership come in a few weeks' time. But that's what next for the Warriors. They will head once again back across the Tasman to the Gold Coast, but they will face the Gold Coast Titans. So that'll be it for me. Yeah, just overall, just watching that whole game last night, just really disappointing just to see the Warriors playing like that. We know this is not how a Warriors team can play. We know the Warriors team can be so much better, but we just never really saw them get in the game. The Bulldogs very much outclassed them in every aspect of the game, and that showed in that 18-6 win last night. But for me, that's going to be it, and until next time, I'll see you later.